Every month of March, we celebrate the accomplishments and contributions of women around the world. We also call attention to the many challenges we still face and how together we can make a difference towards a gender-inclusive society. This week, we put the spotlight on 5 women who've overcome challenges in their chosen fields. Good morning, I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo. This is a CNN Philippines special presentation on Women's Month. Choose to challenge. Miss Universe 2018 Catriona was recently named Arts Ambassador of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. Christine Jacob-Sandejas talked to her about how she plans to use this opportunity to promote culture and arts appreciation among the younger generation.
Because I really believed in showcasing our culture, our arts, everything that we had to offer as a country. Because we are so much more than beautiful beaches and jeepneys and the Filipiniana. And I just came to realize also, not only after the pageant, but even before the fact that my generation doesn't really have an interest in our culture and arts. It's something that's seen as like something in the past. It's not really exciting. And so when I was offered the role of ambassador, that's what I really wanted to bring to it, to kind of give a new light, especially to the younger generations, hopefully to inspire some celebration, some appreciation of what we have to offer, because in a time like this, we need every reason to be proud to be Filipino. So that's why saying yes to being Arts Ambassador was a very easy yes to make.
Now, part of your role as Arts Ambassador is this digital series titled Cultura 101. Tell us more about started doing your digital series.
Yeah, so when I stepped into the role as ambassador, me and my team went straight to brainstorming, like, what can we offer within this position? And I really believe in visual storytelling. It's something that I utilized throughout my journey towards the Miss Universe crown and even during my reign, because the visual capture of an audience is something that allows you to really capture their attention and really showcase something that maybe they've never seen before. So with that in mind, we thought, well, how can we present bite-sized, interesting bits of information about Filipino culture that'll just leave a small imprint, a small mark to whoever who watches it, whether they be Filipino, OFWs, or even non-Filipino people. So that's how Cultura 101 was born. So every week, it's a very casual setting, almost like a vlog. And I bring my viewpoint of being someone who's just in love with discovering the arts, because I'm not in any way an expert. I'm not an academe in Philippine culture. I'm just someone who fell in love with what we have to offer as a country. And so that's the viewpoint that I bring to Cultura.
You're hitting so many birds here with one stone digitally. I mean, the millennials, you've got them covered, right? And as you're looking at this through fresh eyes. So, you know, seeing is believing. Yes, we do have these places or these people or the you know, the wonderful outfits or materials that we have, but you got to see it. It's like, oh my gosh, it's real. We really do have this out there, right?
Exactly. And when you learn the stories of the people, it's not just in creating something beautiful. It's a craft that's passed down from generation to generation. And more empowering is that it's usually from woman to woman, especially when the art of weaving. And so that's something that I really love and something that I celebrate, especially on my platform. So it's something that's very humbling to continue to discover, because not only do I learn about my country, I learn more about my people. It gives me a greater appreciation. And it also, in light of the pandemic, it makes me realize, like, wow, how important it is to support our own, not only to get through the pandemic, but to be relevant for generations to come.
There you go. So woman to woman, supporting our own with at the Miss Universe actually gave hope, you know, not only to like these little girls, you know, that aspire to be you one day, but to actually women. I mean, like me, we're women out there who actually wants to make a difference. Now, how do you live up to the standards of being, you know, a Miss Universe? I mean, does it ever like, oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to do that?
It's very interesting because I don't think of myself as a Miss Universe in every facet of my life. Like, it is definitely something that I'm so proud to have achieved, and I can credit it to having the reach that my platform has now. But when it comes to creating, when it comes to setting visions for myself and pursuits that I want to do, it's very much as Catriona and not as a Miss Universe. And it's allowed me to evolve and really explore these different creative outlets, such as Cultura and such as being NCCA ambassador, as well as the other hats that I wear.
But I wanted to find out if it has changed from 2018 to where we are now, 2021. What would you say that today's Filipinos, would you say that we are so much better off, more powerful, empowered than we were maybe 2 or 3 years ago?
I think the pandemic has forced us to be even more aware of who we are as individuals and who we are as a community. So I think in that light, we're definitely much more than we were, because how can you not gain the knowledge, the insight, the humanity, the compassion going through what we're still going through in light of the pandemic, especially as Filipinos? I believe, seen barriers lifted in that we see the plight of our people in a way that I don't think we've been forced to look at before, because the virus has affected everyone. It hasn't just affected a certain class, a certain region. It's affected the whole nation, and in a way that isn't somewhat uniting, in that we see each other as fellow Filipinos, as fellow human beings.
But with that said, what would you say that makes a Filipino empowered?
Empowered? But definitely knowing what your vision is while sticking to the values that you've been brought up with. Because I feel as a Filipina, we've been instilled with values that are very strong, values of family, of providing. But also, I feel to be empowered, you need to have your own vision for yourself, but never forget where you've come from.
This is a CNN Philippines special presentation to honor women, to celebrate their many success stories, and to highlight that so much more needs to be done to make this world a gender-equal society. Still to come, our discussion with 2 doctors who are the first female commodores in the Philippine Coast Guard. Also, we talk to 2 powerhouse athletes, Alex Eala and Nesty Petesio. The Philippine Commission on Women is celebrating Women's Month with the theme Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. Menshu Macapagal spoke to 2 women who embody this theme. They're the first women to be promoted to the rank of Commodore in the Philippine Coast Guard. Commodore Luz Escarilla and Commodore Fran Eden are 2 doctors in the front lines in the fight against COVID-19.
I was expecting it long time ago, and maybe it was not yet the right time for me. And this time, this is the perfect time for the execution of God's plan for me. But what I felt was I'm really blessed. It's more like a blessing and an unanswered prayer.
Oo, ikaw, so for you, it was expected and it was an answered prayer. So what about for you naman, Fran?
Sa akin, Ma'am Menshu, if there's something good that came out of COVID-19, this is probably God's way of promoting us women because we are really up there holding the line for the Philippine Coast Guard. Like for instance, we are swabbing every day 4,000 OFWs on a daily basis, ma'am.
Oo,
Yeah, God.
kasi bukod nga sa pagiging mga Commodore, kayo rin ay licensed doctors, ano? So bago kayo na-promote, ano ba ang mga ibang ginampanan ninyong tungkulin? Let's start with Ma'am Luz.
Actually, I've held the position of a commander, Coast Guard Medical Service, for more than 10 years. Then after that, I was assigned at Coast Guard District Western Visayas. I've handled positions for the line officer, like admin officer, logistics, chief of staff, and at the same time acting this deputy district commander. And then went back to headquarters and I handled. I was positioned as the Commander Coast Guard Gender and Development, and eventually as the Commander of Coast Guard Civil Relations Command.
Okay. Kayo naman po, Ma'am Fran.
I am presently the commander of Coast Guard Medical Service. I am more on disaster management. I am a national instructor of 2 national training programs for incident command system and the management of the dead and missing persons of OCD and DILG. So we are collaborating as the Philippine Coast Guard with them.
So it really sounds like in your past roles and now moving forward, mukhang talagang marami kayong responsibilities. Pero ngayon, in your new roles, gaano kalaking responsibilidad ang nakaatang sa inyong mga balikat ngayon? Luz?
Being the most senior, as a Coast Guard officer, being the most senior female Coast Guard officer, napakabigat talaga ng responsibility because you have to be the role model for the other female PCG personnel or for other female Coast Guard personnel. And as far as my profession is concerned, being the commander of the task group quarantine facility, handling this returning overseas Filipinos, some of them have turned out positive COVID. So medyo mabigat talaga. Risking the safety of me and also my personnel assigned with the task group quarantine facility.
Kayo naman, Fran, do you feel the same weight on your shoulders?
Equivalent nun, hindi ka lagi nakakauwi, ma'am eh. We have to really protect our family. So where the task group I'm handling, I have over 650 people to protect. And thank God, maybe our commandant, who's very religious, and Admiral Orsavia is so proud that we are the only agencies without any records of death among our personnel from COVID-19 infection, ma'am.
Well, congratulations on that achievement. So ngayon naman, ipinagdiriwang natin ngayon ang Women's Month. Sa tingin ninyo, gaano kalaking impact at inspirasyon ang pagkakaroon ng unang mga babaeng Commodore ng PCG? Let's start with Fran this time.
All the Philippine Coast Guard female officers are so excited with what happened with me and Luz because we have finally breached the wall. Before, this is not something that happened ever. So first time in the history. So our successors are very hopeful that this would be repeated again in their time.
And Luz?
Yeah, just like what Commodore Eden mentioned, no, this time we proved that women are not more equally efficient with our male counterpart, especially with the Philippine Coast Guard, because before and until now, this is a male-dominated organization. And for me, being the most senior female Coast Guard officer, I've gone through this having, we were just only 2 female officers then, but this time marami na, and just prove na medyo equal na ang babae sa kalalakihan.
Up next, these power women are conquering the world of sports. We'll bring you our conversations with Alex Eala and Nesty Patesio after this break. At just 15 years old, Alex Eala has become quite the star in the world of tennis. She opened the year with her very first professional title, and since then, she's been steadily climbing the pro tennis ranks, even recently breaking into the world's top 800. Christine Jacobs-Sandejas spoke to Alex Eala, who's been training in Spain. They discussed her recent victories and preparations for future competitions.
very overwhelming. I'm really pleasantly surprised with my results, and I'm really happy that all my training has paid off, and my coaches are still pushing me super hard and training a lot. So hopefully there's more to come.
Did you ever expect yourself to reach this far?
Actually, I want to say for my plan, like personally, I always wanted to become professional dance player. Even when I was really, really young, it's always been such a big part of my life. I started at around 4 years old, but I cannot remember a time where I wanted to be something else. That's the thing. And my parents know that, my family knows that, and they're really supportive. And of course, my mom was also competitive swimmer, and there's a lot of sports goes around the family, so they were very supportive of it.
What keeps you actually motivated? I mean, you did so well in 2020. You had your Australian Open Junior, you were third round, and you even won the doubles that year, and that's 2020. That was like the pandemic year, right? And you were doing so well.
Yeah.
Keep playing and keep motivated during the pandemic.
I think it's just me being competitive and me just wanting more. Whenever a challenge is like thrown at me, or whenever there are challenges, I really want to be able to say that, oh, I overcame it, or oh, I was able to go a step more. And that goes also for transitioning from juniors to professional, is that I really want to be doing well, not just in under 18, and in the real thing as well.
Maybe I would like to ask you, what's the biggest challenge that you had to overcome during the pandemic?
I did mini tennis and hitting with the wall for about 2 months. Like this, we couldn't play much tennis, and I don't think anyone really could, So we had to find ways to still keep in shape, and to come out even more fit than when quarantine started. That was definitely one of the biggest challenges. And of course, mentally, I wasn't able to see my family for almost a year, and that was really tough on both of us. But in the end, it all worked out well, and we communicated properly and everything.
But now, a lot of girls are rooting for you. They're looking up to you. I mean, being, probably a new inspiration pagdating sa tennis circuit here in the Philippines. What do you say? If I had a little girl, they would say, Mom, I want to grow up to be an Alex Eala. What does it take to be an Alex Eala?
I think that they shouldn't want to be the next Alex Eala. They should be the first them. And they should want others to be like them instead of wanting to be like me. That's what I think their mentality should be.
World boxing champion Nesty Petesio is in the running to compete in the Tokyo Olympics. Andre Felix spoke to the SEA Games gold medalist, who's now training in a sports bubble.
Maayos naman po kami dito, wala pong problema. So, diet lang, yun lang yung problema ngayon kasi nasa diet, reduce talaga ako. So, kalaban ko na yung pagkain po, so yun yung medyo nag-struggle tayo.
Nabanggit ni Irish nung nakausap ko siya a few weeks ago na natutuwa siya dahil nakabalik na nga sa sparring. Dahil iba yon, lalo na sa boxing. Importante yon yung make a spar. Ikaw ba, kamusta naman ang sparring sessions mo?
Ngayon, nag-a-adjust po din po kahit paano sa hangin, sa stamina po namin. Lalo na sa lalaki ako sumasabay sa training. So, iba talaga yung bilis ng lalaki, yung lakas ng lalaki. So, nangangapa pa ako, pero natutuwa po ako kasi pinipilit kong sabayan yung galaw nila, pinipilit kong sabayan yung mga pinagagawa nila sa training. So, ang laking po sa akin, advantage po sa akin na may humahatak po sa akin sa bawat training po.
And yung ABAP is confident na makakapasok ka sa Tokyo Olympics. Medyo malungkot yung balita nung sabi na cancel nga yung mga ibang Olympic qualifying na tournament. Ano naging reaction mo doon?
Late ko na po siya nalaman kasi ayaw ko talagang mag-search or malaman yung kung ano yung mga news na nangyayari po talaga about sa boxing po sa darating na Olympics. So, iniiwasan ko siya. Kasi gusto ko nga po mag-focus lang muna sa training, especially sa pagkakat ko sa weight ko. So, nung sinabi na sa akin ng coaches ko na na-cancel na nga, kumbaga, ayoko pa maniwala. Kasi in-explain naman nila na kahit na-cancel na daw po, dun sila kukuha ng slot na sa ranking, sa world ranking sa Asia po. So, kahit pa paano, naibsan din po ako kasi nandun po tayo sa ranking.
Gano'n ka-importante para sa isang Nesty Petesio na makakwalify at makapasok dito sa Tokyo Olympics? Dahil alam kong matagal mong inasam-asam.
Sobrang importante po talaga sa akin to. Aside po sa pangarap to ng papa ko, gusto niyang makalaro siya, makalaro ako. Kumbaga, dati yung iniisip ko po na para sa kanya tong ginagawa ko, kung ano marating ko para sa kanya. Kumbaga ngayon, para na din sa akin po eh. At saka, isa din po, nandun po yung mga kapatid ko sa Japan. So, yun din po yung reason na bakit gusto ko pong makapunta doon. Kasi gusto ko silang makita din kasi matagal ko na po silang hindi nagkita. So,
Siyempre.
paano, malaking chance po na mabanding ko sila kahit paano po. Mapanood nila ako. If ever makapasok ako for the first time live, mapanood ko nila ako doon. So, yun po yung isang dahilan din po talaga. At saka, yung bakit gustong-gusto ko din po makapasok sa Olympics po talaga. Dahil sa best friend ko po na last 13 lang po namatay. So,
condolence,
yun po yung gustong-gusto niya. Yun po yung gustong-gusto niya mangyari po sa akin na makita niya akong makalaro ako doon. Makita niya akong makatungtong ako sa Olympics.
Think positive tayo. Kunyari naka-qualify ka na, pasok ka sa Tokyo Olympics. Sabi, Nesty, pasok ka. Kino-consider mo ba yung sarili mo na isa sa mga lamado na mag-gold medal? Considering na nag-world champion ka na eh.
Sa ngayon po, hindi ko po iniisip po eh. Kumbaga, sa akin po kasi sa bawat kompetisyon na pupuntahan ko, sa bawat laro na pupuntahan ko, kumbaga, wala na yung record eh. Kumbaga, panibagong record na naman itong hahabulin ko, panibagong medal na naman itong kukunin ko.
Etong buwan ng Marso is Women's Month. Anong masasabi mo sa women in boxing, women in sports? Not only fighting pero yung nag-excel na nanalo.
Ang masasabi ko lang po, ingat-ingat na kayo mga kalalakihan kasi malapit na kayo malamangan ng mga kababayan. Yun lang masasabi ko, kumbaga, wag kayo kumpiyansa po sa mga kababayan po kasi kaya na namin kayong sabayan.
Anong mensahe mo naman, Nesty, sa lahat ng mga aspiring na Filipino boxers?
Una-una, magtiwala po kayo sa Diyos, sa sarili nyo. Panghawakan nyo yun, huwag nyo bitawan yun, lalo na yung mga pangarap nyo. Kasi step by step lang, lagi po yung sinasabi ng mga coaches ko yan, step by step lang sa lahat ng bagay. Kumbaga, huwag yung madaliin yung pag-abot sa taas kasi mabilis din yung pagbagsak nyo. Yun lang laging sinasabi ng coaches ko. Kumbaga, pagdaanan nyo muna yung mga hirap, lahat. Kasi pag nandun na kayo sa taas, kumbaga, iba yung pakiramdam na alam yung pinaghirapan nyo lahat yun. So, laban lang. Lagi nga sinasabi na walang ginto, hanggat walang ginto.
This Women's Month, we are honoring the many trailblazing Filipinos who are breaking barriers, overcoming challenges to lead others to do the same. I'll see you again next time. I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo. This is a CNN Philippines special presentation.